to this marvellous woman who's sitting down next to me. Our mother. I'm not going to do this as a roast. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for all of us to sit back and acknowledge a wonderful lady who, as a family, we have been incredibly privileged to have as our mother. So on behalf of our family, can I start by saying thank you for you all being here. I can tell you that over the last 6 months, we were never quite sure whether this was going ahead or not. The COVID restrictions kept changing, and really it was only a few weeks ago that we actually decided that it was okay to go ahead. Unfortunately, it did mean that a few people aren't here. And I suppose sitting here looking, not that photo. My counsellor says I'll get over that photo. Looking at the photos today and just seeing some of the faces, it would be remiss of me not to at least acknowledge some very important people who aren't here. And for many reasons, and some of them very sad. But I suppose the other day we acknowledged and celebrated 31 years since Dad died, in 1989. Seeing photos up there of our wonderful grandparents, Grandma and Grandpa Shu and Grandma and Grandpa Garrett. To see those sorts of people remind us that we were all raised by a village of people. And many of you sitting here right now have called this woman Mum, because of all of our mums as we were going through. We used to actually say Mum to every one of our mates' mothers and fathers. And just looking around here today, I realise that there are a number of people who aren't here, that were really part of raising and being part of the life that Mum shared with us. And looking at those photos and probably thinking of the Whitlaws down in Melbourne, Uncle Arthur and Auntie Beryl, David and Anne and Robert, who were going to come up. But then seeing that Iris and Ron's, the Hones family that's here, that was a very important part of our lives. To see Peggy and Rex Williams, who were really big parts of us as well. Jennifer and Cliff would love to have been here today. Please don't mention Anastasia Palaszczuk to Jennifer. I may have sent her a text and she will talk to me again one day. They would have done everything to be here, and literally they were going to until I asked the border police not to let them through. But to Jennifer and Cliff and Peter and Kim, I know that they would have loved to have been here as well. When we were brought up and we were being raised in our household, you reflect back now and you realise that we didn't have a lot of things. We weren't flush, but we never went for anything. We always had everything that we needed. We always had food on our table. We always were clothed. We were always looked after. And through some what were very difficult times, Mum was the constant. We'd come home every afternoon to pikelets or burnt toast, and we'd sit there and Mum would be there for us. And through the good times and the not good times, Mum was there for every single one of us. And the gratitude that we have as a family for Mum, to always open her house, to always be there to feed us, sometimes to give us advice, even though we didn't think we needed it, and we definitely didn't need it. We are so grateful that Mum actually was there to tell us. And we feel very blessed, and looking around here today, that I think there's many of us would acknowledge that we were raised with an extended family in the Masonics with the D. Malays and the Job's Daughters. And as kids, we always had something to do. We always had something on a weekend, and families were there to chaperone us, to look after us, and we were raised. And it was great to see the Kellys here today. Nice of you to show up, Russ, eventually. But seeing Russ walk in before, it just reminded me that the thing that I really wanted to raise today as one of the most marvellous things with Mum is her cooking. And I'm reminded by that because every time we talk about Mum's cooking, we'd go to the Kelly's place, and there were things that used to float in the Kelly's stews that really should never have been eaten. And I look back at that and I say, Mum only had half a dozen meals that she used to rotate through. And as a family, we sit back now and go, our Asian cuisine was a thing called classy ming, mince and cabbage. We had shepherd's pie. We had a stew that basically came from a pressure cooker that Dad found floating in the Brisbane River in the 1974 floods at Luggage Point. And for years, we had a piece of tomato that was stuck in the ceiling of our kitchen from one of those days where the old pressure cooker exploded. And it was there. Braised steak. Mum couldn't cook steak. Never could. Dad would wait for Mum to leave so he'd go down the road and buy steaks so he could cook steaks for people. But every single one of those pieces of food were beautiful. And we all noticed with our own children always wanting to go back and actually eat Mum's food. And I suppose that as Jennifer and I sort of grew up and actually learned how to cook, I am reminded of some of the difficulties that Susan and Wendy had because they really weren't given a role model of really fancy cuisine. Now Wendy, before she pulls that face again, I remember very clearly the day that Wendy made Dad a cup of tea.
Oh, don't rub it in.
Now, it wasn't so much that she forgot to put the tea in, but she actually forgot to boil the water. And I always remember her pouring out of a teapot this glass of cold water to Dad. And Dad just looking and just saying, "You're your mum's daughter." But the food that we always got from Mum was delicious. Everything we got from Mum was fantastic. We go back and we talk about the great mothers of our lives, the Mrs. Seeds from Happy Days, or Carol Brady from the Brady Bunch. Well, we had our own, and that was Joan Shue. And I guess on behalf of everyone here, Mum, to the children, including Jennifer, bless her heart, COVID Central, I would like to sincerely say thank you for being there for us for all these years. And we look forward to coming back here in 10 years' time, where we get a telegram from hopefully still the Queen, wishing you a happy 100th, because we could certainly only dream that one day when we get to 90, we can have the energy and the alertness and the sense of humour that this woman has at 90 years of age. So if you've got a glass in front of you, please raise your glass and propose 90th birthday toast to Joan Shue. Happy birthday, Mum.